Anyways, this woman has a python spirit. The third way that someone might have a demon, they have a strong impulse towards sin, beyond what's normal. We all struggle, we all wrestle with sin and temptation, but maybe they have really violent tendencies. The anger just gets a hold of them and they can't think straight. It could be deep sexual perversion. Maybe they're heavily involved in drugs and alcohol. It could be idolatry and false religion. These sorts of habitual sins open you up to the demonic. And then the demons come and they energize that behavior. You see this in the book of Samuel. Remember Saul? He gets this evil spirit. He begins by being jealous of David, but then when the spirit comes upon him, he takes the spear and he tries to throw and pin it to David against the wall. This doesn't mean you don't have any control over your sin, but sin is energized by the demonic. I think of demonization like I think of power tools, okay? I'm the one who's operating both the drill and the screwdriver, but one's going to do a lot more damage than the other one, okay? There's an energy behind it which makes it more powerful. That's the demonic at work in our life. They tempt, we agree, and then they energize our action. And so when a Christian engages in sin, they open themselves up to this kind of demonic demonization. Tertullian, he's the guy who came up with the word Trinity in church history, and he describes a Christian woman who had a demon in their church. And the reason she got demonized is she kept going to the Roman theater for entertainment. This is what he says. Why may not those who go into the temptations of the show become accessible to evil spirits? We have the case of the woman, the Lord himself is our witness, who went to the theater and she came back possessed. Okay, so this woman, she was going to this immoral theater, she was watching the shows, and she came back into the gathering having a demon. In the outcasting, so when they're trying to exorcise this demon, the unclean creature was upbraided for having declared to attack a believer. In other words, like, you can't attack her, she's a believer. We have no business in her, demon. This is what the demon said. And in truth, I did it most righteously, for I found her in my domain. In other words, she opened herself up to the demonic. She was doing demonic, sinful things. So the demon claimed right over her. How many other undoubted proofs we have had in the case of persons who, by keeping company with the devil in the shows, have fallen from the Lord? Okay? Now, church history is not the word of God. Okay, that's not our final authority. But notice what it says. It's something similar to what we see in Ephesians 4. Giving a place for the devil, and then the devil coming and the demons coming and energizing that sin. Which is why we need to confess our sin and walk in holiness and forgiveness and in peace.